go back in time and stop the pollution of the Pigeon River, would you do it? Seems like an easy question. Unfortunately, I don't have a time machine, but history is about to repeat itself, and you folks now have an opportunity to stand up and protect the Nolichucky River as stewards of Cocke County and representatives of its citizens. My family has lived on the Nolichucky for 226 years as of this month. My great-grandfather's great-grandfather, Joseph Conway, was a Revolutionary War soldier and is the same Conway for whom the Conway Bridge is named. U.S. Nitrogen is a company that will manufacture liquid ammonium nitrate. It is a subsidiary of Austin Powder Company, who is known for its explosives and mountaintop removal. U.S. Nitrogen wants free water and a free place to dump its self-monitored wastewater. They want the Nolichucky River. They want their intakes and outlet pipelines adjacent to the Conway Bridge. They can take nearly 2 million gallons a day and are permitted to dump 570,000 gallons of wastewater per day into the river. That is equivalent of about 200 tanker trucks of water coming out of the river a day and over 60 tankers of wastewater being pumped in per day. I'm speaking for a group of people that think that that's a dangerous idea. First, let me say that we are not against industry. We think it's a good thing that a few people from Cocke County have got jobs there. And if there weren't a threat to the river, I wouldn't be here tonight. We want them to do the right thing. We want them to keep their word when they say they would buy their water and sewer services. On February 21st, 2011, the day before their rezoning in Greene County, Austin Powder's chief financial officer stated that water would be discharged through the Mossine water system and would not be discharged directly into any local creek, including Lick Creek. A press release stated water would be critical. On February 22nd, the next day, U.S. Nitrogen's vice president stated they were going to be buying water from Mossine. And on February the 18th, 2012, a year later, company officials stated they would be buying massive amounts of water, an estimated 1 million annually. But on August 15th, 2013, a year and a half after their groundbreaking, U.S. Nitrogen submitted a request to TDEC to ask to be allowed to dump 90% of their wastewater into Lick Creek, which was a direct contrast of what they had said the year before. On August 24th, U.S. Nitrogen's plant manager stated, during the process to create ammonium nitrate, 100% of the nitric acid and anhydrous ammonia is consumed, therefore no chemical byproduct exists to be disposed of because none exists. Yet, on February 14th of last year, 2014, U.S. Nitrogen requested TDEC to allow it to discharge 20 pounds of ammonia per day into the Nolichucky River. How can we trust them when what they say and what they do are two different things? How can a company who stated that water would be crucial to production from day one not have made sure of its availability before the first shovel of dirt was moved? There are two possibilities. One, that they are so incompetent that they didn't check, in which case we should be even more concerned about them. Or two, that they intentionally allowed the sea to get free water and free sewer from the beginning. Being able to self-monitor their own wastewater and save over $1 million a year seems the more likely of the two. Other companies pay for their water and sewer. We think they should do the same. U.S. Nitrogen continues to perpetuate the lie that the Old Knox Utility and Greenville Water Commission cannot fulfill their water needs. Old Knox Utility, Mossine Mayor Tommy Gregg, and the Greene County Water Commission Superintendent Laura White have stated that they can handle all of U.S. Nitrogen's water and sewer needs. U.S. Nitrogen is trying to use it as an excuse to claim that they need water from the river, when the truth is they just don't want to pay for it. Right now there are 6 lawsuits pending against U.S. Nitrogen and their use of the river. The spirited citizens of Greene County, represented by Herbert Monsieur, allege secret meetings and phone calls took place about zoning and other aspects to bring U.S. Nitrogen to Greene County. There's an Old Knox Utility District lawsuit where their USDA bonds require them to bring legal action against competing utilities coming into their district. There is a case against TDOT in Nashville, represented by Elizabeth Murphy, where landowners allege TDOT did not have the authority And Spirited Citizens of Greene County have a separate one that is alleging the Greene County Partnership is a government entity. The last one I want to tell you about is Save the Nolichucky lawsuit represented by Scott Hurley, where there's an allegation of violation of Open Meetings Act on July 18th, 2014, when the IDB in Greene County met to resubmit its application to TDEC. That is where the IDB wanted to act as a utility, but they were conducting their meeting in whispers with their backs to the audience, and 76-year-old resident of Cocke County, Eddie Overholt, asked them to speak up, and I'm sure you probably saw the news that he was thrown out and arrested for disrupting the meeting, and Roger Cohen was also ejected. The charges were dropped against Eddie Overholt. Berkeley Bell said he did not see that he violated anything. But this is how Cocke County citizens were treated when we went to Greene County to express our concerns about them dumping it into our river. The suit also alleges that the IDB has no right as a government body to act as a utility, and that we don't want our rights to the river and our property values reduced. Greene County is the only county that had a public meeting about this. Cocke County was never informed, nor Hamlin County. Also, a company called Yara will be using the same facility as U.S. Nitrogen. Right now, they're involved in the largest corruption trial in Norway history. They were bribing public officials, including the Gaddafi family in Libya, and I put information about that in the packet of stuff that I gave you. U.S. Nitrogen touts that they have all the proper permits, but those permits were fast-tracked and no environmental impact studies were done, so there has not been a thorough investigation of what downstream effects will be. They did no testing for cumulative effects of the ammonia buildup. Those have not been studied at all. If they do get caught violating TDEC or EPA regulations, they have that extra $1 million they're saving in water to pay for their fines. One accident could ruin our river forever, and Cocke County will pay the price. The few miles of Greene County exposure to a polluted river will be minimal compared to the amount of Cocke County property and well water that will be contaminated. Greene County has roughly 4 miles after the input point at the river, and Cocke County has about 40. The Nolichucky River then empties into Douglas Lake, which feeds the French Broad and the Pigeon. Pollution of the Nolichucky could damage all 3 rivers in Cocke County. I don't think that's fair to our citizens. The area of the highest concentration of pollutants in the area of Cocke County is also the part that doesn't have any access to public water right now. What if the wells become contaminated? That would mean hundreds of Cocke County citizens without water. Who would be responsible for fixing that? U.S. Nitrogen is a limited liability company and will only be responsible for minimal damages. Citizens will be left holding the bag. We've been a sewer for Canton Paper Mill for years. We should not become Greene County's dumping ground, not without a fight. Do we want to add blue baby syndrome and gastrointestinal cancer to the long list of other problems for Cocke County citizens caused by pollution for somewhere else? I encourage you to be the leaders who say no. We don't want